Welcome back to the entire world, all of you watching the Law and Love podcast. And I know why you watch. I know it's not me. It's because I'm with Alexis Sapphire Breyer. Alexis Sapphire Breyer.
Hello, Mark.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
Do you like that I include your maiden name, Sapphire, when I call you out every day?
Yes.
Would you rather I just call you Alexis Breyer?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask me, would you rather me just call you Alexis Sapphire? I was going to be like, yes. But it's very hard to go from Sapphire to Breyer, but it could have been a lot worse.
Too much pressure moving that far up.
I'm gonna stick with it. So
listen to me. This is very important.
Yes.
So people don't see what happens off camera. They don't know.
True.
But I'm gonna let them look behind the scenes here. Check behind the Wizard of Oz curtain right now.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, here we go. You often, as in like almost always, say I talk too much. I ask so many questions. I don't stop asking questions. I don't let you. But today's going to be different because I don't know what I'm asking. In today's episode, we're bringing on Kia Matthews, who's going to talk to us about stuff that you can totally relate to. And she doesn't even consider me part of her target audience. She didn't even want me here. So this is the first guest we've ever had that asked to be on the Law and Love podcast as long as Mark isn't there. That was the first time this ever happened. Are you going to be able to do your job today?
I will definitely be able to ask her a lot of questions, and I'm super excited. But something tells me that a subject outside of your comfort zone won't stop you from talking.
Well, there's only one way to find out. So let's get Kia on here and let's have some fun and find out some very cool stuff. And now joining us is Kia Matthews, who's going to come on and talk about all kinds of stuff that I know nothing about. Welcome.
Hi, welcome. Well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
All right, listen, we are very excited, but I just want to prove Alexis right and ask questions I know nothing about. I actually just wanted to say that. So I wanted to, and because you were here, and I was like, everyone else here, everyone they can't see on camera, Alexis, everyone knew what you talk about, what you're doing online. But I'm like, I don't know anything about this. Let me see so I could ask you really good questions. And would you agree that I'm not your target audience?
Yes and no.
She's challenging
yes
you.
Yeah.
She's like a lawyer.
Yeah, that was a perfect non-answer. So why don't I just ask you this? And
Wait, let her explain.
That's what I was going to do. I was going to set it up. In what way am I your target audience?
Well, I have a lot. Well, not a lot. I have like maybe 10% single dads that follow me. You're not single, obviously, but you are.
Well, you were here before we started filming, and she's thinking about leaving me, so you may be right.
I love that. Okay.
You are a dad. You are a dad, though. So,
Yes.
I don't know why dads 10% like my content, but they do. So I don't know. Maybe if you can.
That's very cool.
Let me know if there's little like things that you like that I post. I don't know why though.
By the way, because if you're a single dad, a lot of the stuff I saw on your channel makes just as much sense. Look, when you're trying to raise a kid, you're trying to raise a kid.
Right.
And the issues are the same no matter which side of it. Not all of them, but many of the issues are the same. So that makes sense. Now watch this.
Especially if it's a single dad with a daughter.
Yes.
Right? Because you're doing all those cute things and they might be like, what can I do?
That's true.
Yeah, but it's hard to.
Hard to replicate, but still.
For a dad, yeah, I feel like we're a lot more thoughtful. In the things
Really?
that we
I've
do.
noticed that from time to time.
Yeah.
Can neither
and
confirm nor
I
deny.
just feel like men, on the other hand, are not as thoughtful. Just
True.
naturally, I feel like we are. So maybe that could always be.
Yeah,
I
it gives
loved
them the
the
glimpse.
way you said that. Instead of saying what you really felt, maybe men aren't quite as thoughtful. I think sometimes, from time to time. So how did it happen? How did you find yourself suddenly this huge following, doing all like it's? I should say I shouldn't say this, but I doubt you woke up before it started and was like, "This is what I'm going to do." So how did you get to where you are?
One day, I was working at a financial firm investment firm, and I hated my job. I just hated it. And I was like, I want something where I have financial freedom and where I also have freedom to raise my daughter. Like, I don't want to send her to daycare when she's 6 weeks old. So honestly, I was just scrolling on TikTok and I was like, honestly, I want to do this. Like, this is what I want to do. And I just thought it was a long shot. I was like, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to excel as a content creator. So I prayed one day. I prayed one day. I told God exactly what I wanted, exactly where I wanted to be in life, and that I just hated what I was doing. I went to church like a few months later, and my pastor, like, he spoke to me, and literally what I prayed for is the confirmation that, like, he gave me. And 2 weeks after that, I put in my 2 weeks and I quit.
Wait. Wait.
Yeah.
You prayed.
Yes.
Okay. Then you go to church and the pastor, he was speaking to everyone, but he was speaking to you, right? Or
No.
he was just had a conversation with you.
He spoke to me, like, directly.
And that was enough for you to go, I'm in.
Yes.
But you hadn't gotten going yet.
I was like a year in, but I wasn't really making enough money to where I could quit and, like, solely just do content. So at that point, I was still relying on my 9 to 5.
And how old is your daughter at this moment?
One? Around
So
one.
you got a
yes.
1-year-old? Mm-hmm. Your job pays the bills.
Right.
And you're like, peace. Like, here's my 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm going to make this thing work that right now is not paying enough for me to eat and,
Right.
Feed the kid. Because most kids, I don't know about your daughter, most kids like to eat.
Yeah. No, mine doesn't.
Oh, is that right?
She doesn't eat. I don't know why, but she doesn't.
Well, that saves money too.
Right, yeah.
Wow, that's a moment, right? Yeah. And the people who loved you and cared for you, were they all saying, don't do it, or were they supportive?
I actually didn't tell anybody until I actually was, like, cleaning up my desk because I was working from home at the time. So I didn't film or share with anybody until I was cleaning up my stuff, like putting it back in the shipping boxes and shipping it away. I made a video about it. And I got a lot of support on the video. So it felt good, honestly.
That makes me nervous just thinking about that.
Yeah.
How long until you were like, was it immediate where you're like, this was the right decision?
Not immediate. I mean, I started making money eventually, like, enough to where it surpassed what I was making from my corporate job. But I'd say maybe like 2-3 months, and then the brand deals started coming in. And I was like, whoa. Like, just imagine if I would have stayed working,
Right.
with these deals. I don't know. I just don't know.
Never would have known what you
Right.
missed out on.
Exactly.
If you didn't have the guts to try.
That's pretty fast, though, I feel like.
Yeah, it is.
Isn't it?
It is pretty fast.
But you started how long ago?
I started a little over 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I was still pregnant, 6-7 months pregnant is when I started.
When you gave notice, did you have anyone you worked there with who was like, what are you doing?
Yes, my boss, and then I had another coworker who is very nosy. I didn't even talk to him or anything. He was just asking me a ton of questions. My manager was like, why are you quitting? And I told her, I was like, I just have a business I'm going to pursue. And she's like, what's the business? And I was like, oh, it's social media. And she's like, social media? And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, well, best of luck. I don't know if she truly understood. She's a bit older, so I know a lot of older people a lot of the times don't understand social media, like even how you're able to get paid from it. But yeah, I haven't talked to her since, but I really loved her.
She probably, I mean, we were talking, and we've talked many times, but I think that there's an evolution, right? Because the idea, things have changed over the last 5 years. 5 years ago, if you said you were going to make money as an influencer, no one even knew what that, everyone
Right.
mocked it. They made fun of it. There's still a group, and I think age plays the biggest role, right?
Yes,
like
yeah.
people over 50 are X times more likely to whine and complain about
Right.
influencers than people, 25 and younger, or however it works. But it's still an interesting thing because it didn't exist.
Right, 100%.
And now it's changing lives.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, for sure. So how do you decide what you're going to film? Do you have like a
schedule, like a posting schedule. So sometimes I will post out my weeks. I'll never do like a month because my life changed. So like if something happens that I want to share, that'll throw off everything. So I'll do sometimes a weekly schedule, and sometimes I'll just swing it, honestly. Yeah. It's like if my daughter does something cool that like I feel like I want to share, that will resonate with my audience, then I'll film that.
So as one of the old people, I'm constantly telling my kids, I'm like, yo, what you put online is online forever.
Yeah.
Sometimes followed with, so why did you put that online? But anyway.
oftentimes? There's a lot of times where like somebody will in our family will send something to us or to each other that tells one of their siblings, take that offline immediately right now.
Yeah. But your stuff, it's not, are there things that you've posted that you're like, either I wish I hadn't or I'm pulling that off?
Yes. Yes.
You don't have to tell that.
Okay,
No,
okay.
I'm not
Yes,
making you go there. I'm just
okay.
wondering because it's
Because of
interesting.
the comments or because like your family calls you or like what makes you think I shouldn't have posted that?
Because of the comments.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It makes me like kind of rethink it. And I'm like, like maybe they were right. So I go back and delete it.
So I know some people, the hate comments, which are inevitable, right? You can't avoid it. Some people get a kick out of them. And for some people, like probably for a majority, it's, you may know that they're just keyboard warriors and they don't mean it, but they're still mean, right? How does that stuff impact you when you see it? Because yours is different.
Right.
You're not just talking about the things that may normally resonate. You're talking about you, your life, your daughter.
Right.
A mean comment there isn't just, I don't know, I hate the movie she recommended.
Yeah.
It's deeper than that inherently, right? So how is it, does it impact your day and week, or you're like, look, they're just confused fans, I'm good?
Now it doesn't get to me at all. When I did first start, I mean, even just a year ago, like maybe even a year and a half ago, the comments really they would always get to me. Like I would read them and I would cry, or I'd be like, I need to take a break, because they would get to me so much. Like it would like affect my mental almost, not to where I was suicidal or anything, but I'm just
really
like,
hurt.
wow, like, am I really a bad mom? Like I would be questioning myself. And now it's sometimes to the point, well, I don't do it anymore. I used to, where I just wouldn't read the comments, honestly, because it's like, I don't want to like anyone to take my joy or like my peace, or like, I want to be happy. Like I'm nice. I'm a kind person. And I feel like my content, why are you being so hateful on something so innocent,
Right.
But now I'm in a much better place. I just know that the people that leave those nasty kind of comments, it's much more of them than it is of me. They are going through something, or maybe they just dislike themselves, or whatever is going on in their lives. And it doesn't really have much to do with me. They're just taking it out on me.
Some
So
of my
that's how I look at it.
favorite like responses when somebody has a hate comment is when the content creator will respond back and be like, "Thank you, user 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 for your rude it must be da da da." But it's like, because a lot of the people, I think, based on keyboard warrior, sometimes they don't even
Just
have a
point at
name.
me as a keyboard warrior?
No, you're just the phrase that you use, because
Yeah.
I do think that happens, but I find it especially funny when they don't even have their name.
Yeah.
It's like you're such a keyboard warrior that you don't even have like a username.
Yeah.
You're just going around posting things that, like you said, to be hurtful.
I don't even think it's real. And what I mean by that is I know there's someone behind it writing it, but,
Right.
and I'm going to use this very bad example, and I could probably think of a better one, but because of all the marketing and stuff we've done, if we're out together, especially if we're dressed like this and I'm in the suspenders that have been out of style for 40 years, and so people recognize us. And I know from what people say online that people write all sorts of, we don't get a lot of nasty stuff, but negative stuff and hate and whatever. We get less. I don't know why, but we get it, right? People will actually call our office to talk about my ties. They don't like my ties.
They say they're too long.
Yeah, they
Some
are too
people love
long
them.
and too
Some
loud. Some
people
people
hate
like
them.
them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, they're just not ready. But when we're out and about, without exception, people are so nice to us. And I think those same people, some of them online, are writing nasty things to us or to other people. Yeah. I think when you see people out and about, that's who people really are.
Yeah.
And I think they get back behind their computers. They don't even think anyone's reading it, because we've responded at times. Funny, if we get, we'll get some emails that go, I can't think of good examples of people send these nasty emails. and especially until not too long ago, now we're it's a
Lots
little
of
harder.
times they'll say like, Mark, your smile is so big, stop faking.
Yeah, I hate your
And we're
fake smile.
Yeah, we'll respond like, Alexis tells me the same thing. I'm not faking. It's just what God gave to me. Because it is what it is.
Right.
It just smiles a lot.
It's all I got. You know, if you got one move, go to that move. So, but
It's real though.
yeah, it's all right. I'll show you. You ready? Everyone else in the world, except me, has a smile like this. Try. Hold on. I don't know. It's like a half smile. I don't have it. I either got or I got nothing. So when I'm smiling, that's all I got.
Right.
I got this big, ridiculous, cheesy grin. And I didn't get a normal smile. I got that. Some people have big, cheesy, regular, nothing. All I got is big, cheesy, nothing. That's all I got. So I got two choices. So anyway, but people sent. So then many times over the years, I have, and Alexis done it too, but I've sent back. You're so right. The vast majority of the time, we get these nice things back. I didn't think anyone was going to read that. I'm sorry. I love you. So I don't think the hate we see, I do think there's someone writing it.
Right.
But I don't even think it's what they really believe. I just think it's their chance to vent. Life is going on. Life is tough. And it's a chance to anonymously vent without really thinking that you're on the other side.
Right.
Going, oh, you're talking about my daughter and me and me as a mom. So I actually don't believe it. Now, I don't know. I could be wrong, but I think a lot of the hate stuff online isn't even real. It's people just being ridiculous, not thinking it through, not realizing someone is real. You're talking about, like people do that with celebrities all the time. The stuff they say about
it's so
celebrities is
nasty.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're just a person just like you who happened to get famous for something.
Right.
They're still, like they still have feelings, but I think a lot of people don't even look at it like that.
No, definitely don't.
Do you get recognized out and about?
I think I have like once or
Was it
twice. I don't like stuff like that. Like I like to be more like low key. I don't
You better
know.
brace yourself. 'Cause
I
it's
know.
coming.
I don't know. That stuff makes me feel, I don't know, like just kind of weird. Not weird, but just like I don't
know,
like all the
I hate
attention.
attention, I hear.
Yeah, I don't like attention.
Well, sometimes people like they'll recognize Mark and myself, and I'm always like, gosh, imagine if you were like Jennifer Lopez. Like you literally couldn't even leave
I know.
the house. Like you'd have to get, the hat, the this, and
Yeah,
that. Like they literally can't go
disguise.
like anywhere.
Jennifer
but-
Lopez could literally not go to a baseball game.
Yeah.
Or anywhere.
She wouldn't be able to take like one step.
Yeah, she
two
wouldn't.
steps. Like she definitely would need like somebody to follow her around.
A-list celebrities cannot live a regular life.
Yeah.
That's
No,
my guess.
Definitely no.
They
Even
could-
I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was in New York. I don't know if you saw this, but because obviously he's like a lot older. People haven't seen him, but they literally were filming him in New York, like walking down the road. They were
and
like,
were
"Look,
they
there he
surrounding
is!"
him,
And
or was he by himself?
he was by himself, but he had like 4 bodyguards, kind of like walking around him. And I was like, no one even knows that's you anymore because he's so much older. You know what I
wouldn't
mean?
know.
Like you don't like.
But as soon as someone
see it.
spots him and
But
then
as
other
soon-
people,
right. Yeah.
it's over.
True. So do you I know a lot of content creators are like by themselves a lot during the day. And I know you have your daughter and stuff like that, but do you ever, coming from a corporate job where you were around a lot more people, do you ever feel like, oh, I miss the people? Or
Kind of not though. I'm an introvert, so I kind of like being by myself. In the mornings, like my day to days, I am by myself a lot of the times. My daughter's at daycare or she's with their sitter, and then I'll just go out and run errands or appointments, do whatever I need to do. Then I come home and I'm back with her. I just became an auntie, so I'm always with my nephew as well.
Aww.
And then on the weekends, I'll either be by myself, my mom, or my friends.
Is your nephew going to be in a lot more of your filmings?
Trying to persuade my sister.
She's like,
not,
no.
No, she's not having it. She's like, I don't want those people talking about my son. I'm like,
Just
yeah,
don't
I understand,
tell her.
but yeah.
Just,
She
just
would
lie
kill
to
me.
her.
She would kill me.
Yeah, you have to be careful with that. Even with our kids, I'm always like, is it okay if I
Yeah.
post this?
Yep.
Because they have
We got
opinions
2
now.
kids. So she got herself pregnant repeatedly. And
All by myself.
And so, of the 8 kids, 6 are like, whatever. One's used to be whatever now, but there are 2 of the boys that don't want to be filmed.
Okay.
And it messes up everything. It's like, we want to film it all. And then there's two that need to don't want to be seen. I don't even understand why we give them a choice.
I mean, when they get to be a certain age, right?
Yeah.
What?
But your daughter, she was around filming since before she was born.
Right.
So I feel like for her, she'll just be used to it.
She's not really. She'll
doesn't
tell
like
me
it?
not right now, mom, or don't film me, mom, or no pictures. I'm like, okay, but because even if I say okay, no, let's smile, she won't. So it's I'm just gonna listen to her. She knows what she wants, so we'll just try again later.
How old did you say she was?
She's almost 3. She'll
That's
be 3
what I
on
thought
Valentine's.
you said. She doesn't know what she wants. She wants what you tell her to want.
I don't know. I like giving her that option.
I just want to throw out there the possibility that never let kids have an opinion.
This is my
have to disagree with that.
sarcasm.
No. There's truth in most jokes. This one's true.
This is kind of funny. We picked up our daughter last night from the airport, and she said, Mom and Dad, I just want to thank you so much for letting me be me. You never tried to squash my personality, and you always just let me go on and be whoever I wanted to be. And that's why I'm so confident and stuff like that. And I'm like we were going to be able to stop you. Yeah. There was no way. You were going to do whatever you wanted to. Right. And
that's funny. We didn't talk about that, but I had the same thought.
Did you think the same thing?
I was like, I tried to squash that out of you repeatedly. I spent years trying to push that down. It just didn't work.
Yeah, it just
But
didn't
thank you
work.
for thinking now I didn't try.
Yeah, thank you for thinking we're your
You may be right.
heroes.
Maybe she's just going to be who she's going to be.
Yeah, at some age, I mean, you have your own thoughts.
Right.
What you want to do.
Well, there is all that nature versus nurture, which I was telling Mark the other day in terms of some of our kids, because some of our kids are actually a little bit more quieter too. Okay. But I think because they've been around us so long, they learn to be a little bit more outspoken. Okay. So sometimes I'll tell him if there's that nature versus nurture going on, that kid would not be doing that. It's your influence on him.
Out of your mind. None of your kids are quiet. They're just quiet compared to other loud kids.
True.
Maybe one kid could have been chill, and that's it.
A couple kids. Probably 2 of them would have been chill.
Not many.
I have to ask, because I've always said I want 8 kids. I've always said that. When I'm married, obviously, I'm going to just start popping them out like you.
Yes.
But how 8 kids? How is that?
You already got one down. You just need 7 more.
I know, only 7.
And you're young, so you could do it.
You want to take that one on?
We had
What's it
one,
like having 8 kids?
And it was a boy, and I really wanted a girl. And so within a few months I got pregnant, and we got so lucky. We had a girl. And then
which would be a reasonable time to stop having kids. You got one of each, you're good.
True. And then the third one, it was a little bit a lot, after you have 2. So I was like, let's get a dog. So we got a dog. That was the third one. And then between the second and third is 2.5 years. Okay. And between the third and fourth is 2.5 years. We had 2 and 2 when the fourth one came home, which is what I always wanted. I wanted 2 boys and 2 girls. Okay. And he was like, it's perfect. What more would you want? And then
apparently a lot more.
Right.
Yes. And then I was like, I want another one. And he was like, well, I want to be done. We started young. If you're going to have another one, have it fast. And so within a year, I had the 5th one. And then I said the same thing for the 6th one. And so we had that one within a year. So we had those 3 back to back, within a year of each other. And then the 7th and 8th were a little bit lagging. But
she got lazy.
I did. I got a little bit lazy. But our first and last one are born, actually just January 8th, they had birthdays. They're both boys, and they were born the same day, the exact same minute. At 2:29 p.m., which is why I stopped. So that's actually crazy. Should have 9 or 10 and not stop at
well, let me say this seriously to your question. When you hit that point and you're having kids, I will just share this with you because I think everyone should have. I think there are people who have kids because they think that's what they're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. That's what society expects. They get married because they think they're supposed to get married. Right. They have kids. That's my opinion. Mm-hmm. But I cannot count the number of people who have come up to us. Well, mostly to her, to be honest. But I was there. I'm not joking. it's usually women, not always. And they talk to her and they go, I always wanted more, but the money this, the money that, it got so hectic. And they're always expressing regret. Now, to be fair, you know, if you wanted a lot of kids and you stopped earlier and you were glad, maybe you don't say anything.
Right.
So I'm not saying that there's but I will say from watching people talk to her once, you know, once she got to like 4 and people would find out the number of people, in particular women, but just people who have said to you, I wish I had had more, but you know, I felt the pressure and they regret it. And so I'm not saying like everyone should go out and have a bunch of kids because I think it's crazy.
It's definitely not for everyone. Right. Like it is a lot. And even now our oldest is 28 now and our youngest is 14 and it's still a lot. Like it's just a lot.
But it's way easier than when they were young.
In some ways it's way easier.
Oh, it's way easier.
I don't know.
You just don't remember. She only remembers the good part.
But there's been some people who have been around our family who literally are like, I'm never having a kid, like ever. And then there's been some people around our family who are like, wow, that's so amazing. Like I want to have a big family. But I honestly think it just depends on like, you know, some people can handle a lot of chaos. Like having 8 kids is a lot. Yeah. I mean, it's especially when you have a lot of little ones. Like we had like, you know, at one point, like an infant, 1, 2, you know, like 5, 6, and 7 or something, right. You know, like we had a bunch of kids.
97 to, so we had 6 kids, 9 or younger, something like that at one time.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So that was
the part I didn't like, I think the part that I most didn't like in some ways was when they're in that like later elementary school, like middle school age and they can't drive. I would literally spend from like 5 to 8 driving them around to all their activities. And I don't really like to drive. And I would just be like, oh my God. And then part of me was like, just get a sitter and have them drive them around. But I was like, no, I want to be part of it. But like, do you really have to be part of driving your kid around? Like, probably not. I should have been like the one to stay at home and, you know, but I love our big family. So I always tell people like, if you want a lot of kids, have a lot of kids. And now you don't even need to be married. You can just.
Yeah, but 8 would be a lot on your own. 8 was a lot with help.
I would definitely not do it. I wouldn't even do 2 on my own. Okay, I have 1 on my own. I'm like,
I truly believe what you did is way harder.
Yeah,
because first of all, hard. 1 is harder than 2.
Yes, I say that
1 is harder than 2.
You got no one. You can't. So when you need,
especially as they get older, like she's gonna want.
She's already old enough.
Attention, right?
She's almost 3.
Yeah. Even like our youngest, Mark gives him more time than he did the oldest because he's more, you know, home alone and, you know, less brothers around anyways. He's the boy. So Mark's kind of like his buddy, you know, throwing with him and watching sports and stuff like that. 1 is definitely harder.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
You're the only friend in the house.
Yeah, I know. Come play with me. I'm like, oh, come on. I just want to sit on the couch.
The number of times I yelled through my door, I gave you a bunch of people to play with, go away. I cannot count. You can't do that. You're the only one to play with.
Yeah.
I know. That's funny. You got to get her like, I know, like an iPad. I know that's bad, but sometimes
why is that
it's like
bad?
Mom needs a break.
You don't have an iPad for her?
My phone, she's my second phone sometimes.
Okay, so she's got something
I'm gonna get
when you need to breathe.
Yes. Yeah. But sometimes that doesn't even work. Maybe it'll keep her occupied for like 5 minutes. Then she's like, come cook with me or come paint with me. I'm like, oh, Nia.
I feel like especially the girls, like our second one who's a girl, oh no. If she didn't have siblings, she used to have like Ms. K's class and Ms. K's this. And she would have all her siblings like sitting in front of her and she would be like telling them what to do and teaching them stuff and all this other stuff.
I don't know if she's ever sat through an entire movie yet.
No, she would definitely
in her 20s.
Not. Yes.
She cannot sit still, never could sit still. She would turn off the TV while I was watching games just to get me to get mad and chase her.
But does she like to film? Can she film you or she's too little for that?
She's too little.
She's still too little. It's so funny.
That will be a great time though, because sometimes when we're out in public, like I have to take the tripod. It's so embarrassing because people just stare and I'm like, oh my God, just keep going. It's okay. Like I'm just filming.
My daughter ordered a tripod not the older one. She lives in New York, but that thing is like really difficult to put together. I was like, how many pieces is this?
Yeah.
It was like outside the box. I'm like, but I can't imagine. I've actually never seen somebody out filming with a tripod.
Really?
Do you usually go out and film with the tripod?
Sometimes, yes. Like if I'm going
Really?
somewhere where I know there's not going to be anywhere to like prop my phone up, or like
Yeah.
if I need a certain angle, then yeah, I'll bring it.
Because that's like pretty bold of you.
I know.
For a quiet person.
Yeah, I know it is. I get so nervous. I'm like waiting for everybody to leave. I'm like, okay, come on.
Let's
yeah,
go. That's
it's
funny.
weird.
What's your favorite part about what you're doing for a living?
Definitely spending quality time with my daughter. Like
Interesting.
instead of us always being like separated and then we're back together from like 5 to like 9 and then she's away from me again all
Right.
day. Yeah, it's definitely my favorite part.
And the hardest? What's the thing about this gig that's like, man, that's
Honestly, the comments. I always say that. Yeah, it's the people. People can be very just mean.
Right.
Just mean, literally. So yeah, I'd say that's the hardest.
no, I totally, I imagine that's got to be a little bit nuts. Can you ever see yourself? Let me flip around the way I ask that. If tomorrow you had to go back to a corporate job,
Oh God.
horrible.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Did you hate it when you were there?
Yes. I hated it when I started, like working at what? I was like 20. I hated it.
What about it were the parts you didn't like?
Getting up early, doing something I just didn't want to do, like doing the work. It's nothing that I was passionate about to like want to do till retirement age. So it's like I cannot see myself doing this for 20 plus years.
And you were in investment banking? Mm-hmm. Because that's
Yes.
pretty hot right now, right? A lot of people are doing that and seem
What
to
the
like
finance?
it.
I mean, finance
Well, a
is
lot
a
of
massive
people in
part of the
finance.
world.
It's like a massive.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of young kids now are getting their finance degree and loving it.
But that whole finance world is probably not the most exciting world.
No,
They make a
it's
lot of
not.
money.
Yeah,
they
they
make
do.
a lot of money. And, you know, I heard someone say once the money is in the money. So the finance world makes, like, I'm sure there were people in the organization you were part of making unbelievable money.
Yeah.
But it's not always an exciting job.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Do you
It's
spend a
definitely
lot of
boring.
time editing?
Yeah, yes. Depending on the video that I'm like filming, excuse me, maybe like a few hours, like 2-3 hours, sometimes a few days, depending on my daughter, how she's behaving. But yeah,
Do you feel like because you're a content creator that there's a like that you're having to lose a lot of your privacy? Or do you feel like, because I feel like when I see a lot of content creators, they're, it's kind of like they're always thinking about, oh, let me set up here, let me set up there. And it's like, even when we're videotaping, our kids are like, Mom, I just want to enjoy the moment. Like, I just want, and we're not content creators, but they're like, I just want to not have to think about being on camera or,
I have thought about that. Like for my daughter, even though she's so young, I don't know if she really understands what's going on. Like when I get the tripod out, she just sees me whipping it out. But
I mean, it's
sometimes,
what
like,
she's known.
Yeah, right. But I do think sometimes like I should like be focusing on her, like not trying to fix up a tripod and put my phone, and trying to record for the internet. Sometimes I do think about that. So sometimes I will film, and then like if I will set up like her room, or I'm like setting up a setup for her, I won't always record her reaction because I just feel like I just want to spend that time with her instead of like for everyone to see.
I totally believe that's valid. But let me pay counterpoint. Whatever interruption that plays, and it's real because she does it and it's true. It's not just the kids. Sometimes I'm like, Alexis, can you not record this moment? When she loves to record, she has a favorite time to record. It's when we're late. If we're late for something, it seems like the perfect time to record. And I'm always like, I'll record anytime, but we're late right now. Anyway, so this choice you've made has given your daughter time with her mom that she would never otherwise have. So even if it takes away, and again, I'm not saying not to be in the moment, not to live in the moment, but if there are times that you need to film in order to show things that will help her have time with her mom. And, you know, people talk about money like it's inherently evil. Money can be used to give you time to create good memories. It doesn't have to be wasted and wasteful, right? So I'm just saying that it's very easy for people on the outside to go, you know, be in the moment and all that, and, you know, don't set it up. But look what you've been able to create these last 3 years because you were willing to do it.
Right.
Which I don't, now she's going to say back to me, which I'm not going to like, because I mean it for you. For her, I want her to never, ever pull out her phone when we're late. Never again.
My thing is, like, if it takes an extra 10 seconds, it's not really going to make you late.
It could have been the 10 seconds.
No, yeah, that's true.
But
Because
it
once it's
almost-
up, it's filming.
Exactly. And you're going along the way. Like, how much extra does it take to press record?
right.
Like 1 second. So it doesn't really matter.
Are you late a lot,
said
Kia?
is false.
Half and half. Sometimes, yeah.
You can't go there with her then.
I was on time once, so I can't really. And that's because, you know, so someone changed my alarm clock, changed the time. Before it was on the phone and the time was the time. So I showed up early and I got there and it was so weird. No one was there. And then I checked the clock and my clock was wrong because the person had messed with me. And I went back and I was like, I was there like 20 minutes early. And then Alexis is like, I changed your alarm clock. You remember that?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No.
No, you changed it by like 30 minutes. So instead of being 10 minutes late, I got there 20 minutes early. And it was a law school class and no one was there. And I was like, am I here on the wrong day? Like I couldn't figure it out. It was so weird until I got out and saw and it was actually really cool being on time that one time. I didn't do it again.
Really cool.
Well, as lawyers, you have to be on time, obviously, for like client meetings and judges, and, you know, you don't have a lot of flexibility with a lot of things. But in our home life, like when we had the kids and when they were smaller and we would be going to somewhere, we were always, I felt like, running. We were always late. Because it's just
Well,
like,
you guys have a reason, a valid
that's
reason.
what I feel. Now, though, I feel like you can, like with phones, back then, 28 years ago, they didn't have phones or whatever, even,
We did have phones.
But they weren't
like, they were attached to the house.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, I don't want to run anymore. Like, we're too old for that. We need to be on time. And although today we were 30 minutes late, but
33-ish, but
yeah, it's because we worked late last night though. But I think that there is something to setting the alarm clock, like, or having your time deadline, like say it's like, our kids always tell us, like, if it's really gonna be 6:30, like tell us like 6:15. Like I think, or because when you do have that buffer, it's always nice. Like even one of our daughters, we sometimes use her car, but it's like the time is like off by a little bit.
Okay.
So it makes it like if you're late,
That's
you're
smart.
actually early. Yeah. And I'm always like, oh yes, we have
actually
extra
really smart.
time. Yeah.
it's weird because we know it's a lie, and yet somehow it speeds us up. I don't exactly
works.
understand. Yeah. So what's the best part about being a mom?
I think just watching her grow up. I mean, that's also like one of the saddest, honestly, because you just realize how fast time goes and you don't even realize it. Like I was just looking at pictures. I look at baby pictures of her all the time, but now that she's approaching 3, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it's been 3 years. Like that just went by so fast. I feel like 3 years before I became a mom was very, very slow. Now it's just like snap of a finger and she's 3. I'm like, wow, when she's 18, what is it going to feel like?
Like it happened in the snap of a finger.
Yeah. 2 snaps.
You're going to feel really sad. I can tell you
Yeah.
right now. No, I think it's actually cool as they get older in some ways because it's like they become little people.
Yeah.
And you're still always taking care of them, but you're not wiping their diapers,
Right.
So then it's like she can talk and tell you a little bit more about her day, which is fun. And, stuff
Does she
like
give you
that.
the breakdown of her day now, or it's just like
I have
it's
to
fine?
ask her.
Yeah.
And it's still when I do, it's what'd you do today? Play. I'm like, okay, like what else did you do? Like, did you play with your
Who'd you play
friend?
with?
Yeah. No,
Nothing.
just play.
That sounds like the conversation we had with our oldest son, who's 28. How was your day? Good. I played with Boomer, who's his dog. Okay. Did you do anything else? I walked Boomer. Okay. How was work? I thought about Boomer. Like, just kind of razzing me. I'm like, can you tell me anything? How was your weekend? It was good. Boomer. And I'm like, you are not going to give me anything,
Right.
are you? And then there's other kids who will like talk. But I'm like, nope, we're like one word answers here.
It tends to be, I'm just saying, the daughters who talk, and the boys who say nothing. Would you agree? I mean, not entirely.
For our kids, I think for daughters,
But maybe not when they were little. It's a little bit different, right? Because at 3 years old and they went to preschool, it's just a little bit different.
Yeah.
All right. So off camera right now, Bonnie Blue is telling me, she may be telling me I have to wrap it up, or she may be telling me we have questions. And I don't know because I don't know what she's saying. She's saying we have questions. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Now I want to warn you.
Okay.
I want to warn you. These questions were picked from a panel of about 400 people, and we picked the toughest ones. So these are going to be.
He's kidding.
I thought so.
These
Yeah.
two are really hard.
A lot of our team members, Mark will be like, we have to work July 4th, or we have to work,
Christmas.
New Year's Day, Christmas, whatever it is. And he'll say it just like he said it. And they're all like, oh, wow, dude, no. And I'm like, he's just joking. It's just like sarcasm.
It's brilliant.
Thank God for your wife, because
Yeah,
what
right.
if they actually showed up?
She walks around at times, and I think she thinks her only job is to walk around going, he's just kidding.
I'm like, he's just kidding.
How many times a day do you think you say it?
A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm serious.
Yeah, a lot. But like,
just
you
doesn't
know
want
how
them to
you
know I'm
kind of
serious.
had that. I am pretty sure he's kidding.
Right.
So for me, it's just like giving everyone the confidence to know he really is just kidding.
Maybe.
Because he says it so serious.
I know. Just now I'm like,
and
but
you're
then I
like-
heard you laugh, so I'm like, he's playing.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. What is your favorite opportunity that being an influencer has brought you?
Working with Huggies, they were my dream brand. Like, since I started, I was like, I want to work with Huggies. I have to. Like, that's my number one goal. Well, not my number one goal at the time. That's what it was. But I did it last year. So that was really exciting.
Did you reach out to them or they reached out to you?
They reached out to me.
That's
Who
really
were we
cool.
talking to about like Pampers and Huggies? I can't.
Your
Oh,
daughter.
we were at a no, we were at a baby shower and she got
Well,
two
that's right.
gifts. One was Pampers and one was it was a different brand. It wasn't Huggies.
There's some new brand. It used to be
Yeah.
when our kids were born, there was just Pampers versus Huggies. I mean, I'm sure there was more, but that
Yeah.
was the big
it
battle.
was called like Honor or
Honest.
Honest.
Yeah.
Was it Honest?
Yeah, something like
But
that. Must be.
we were straight Huggies.
So it's funny.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if this was just us or other people, but I don't know why we chose Huggies. No idea. But literally, once we chose them, all 8 kids for all the years, it was nothing but Huggies.
Yeah.
If you were somewhere and you ran out and someone had one other, you'd use it just so you get to the Huggies.
That's really cool though.
What
Was your daughter in all of those brand commercials?
I think, yeah, she was.
Ah,
Mhm,
she's
she
a
was.
star.
Yeah,
That's so
little star in the
cool.
making.
But what a massive brand
Right.
to connect with, right?
Yeah.
That's when I think you must know you're like, okay, like
My
this
hard
is
work
as
is
big.
paying
I
off.
mean, it's a massive national brand.
right.
That's all right, you ready for this one? This might be the last one.
All right,
But
let's
you never
go.
know. It may not be. You don't know. There's no way to know around here. How did you find your filming and edit? Wait, how did you find your filming and editing style? It's hard to stand out on Instagram.
I don't know. I just did I just went with what I thought like looked good to me. And then I would also, whenever I would like watch videos on TikTok and Instagram, you kind of see the common, more like trendy editing styles. So I would kind of mimic it a little bit, but then like throw in like just little twists of my own. So that's really how
Has
I
it
went about it.
evolved? Like if I looked at your videos from 2 years ago and now, is
Yeah.
it similar or
No.
it's changed?
Yeah, it's changed a lot. Like
And
when
is- No,
when
go
I
ahead.
first started, I did like a lot of 10 to maybe like 20-second videos. They were very, very short. And it was very like kind of fast paced. Now I will sometimes still do those, but I like to slow it down a little bit more. Starting to talk to the camera a little bit more.
Have them be longer.
Yes, yeah.
It seems like the algorithms on social have changed a lot
Yeah.
too.
I think too that's a good way to like build a connection, like a relationship with your audience when they see your face more, when you're talking to them more, so they kind of feel like it's just like a personal, like a FaceTime conversation almost.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I'm trying to do more of.
Do you spend much time following other people who do what you do to see what they're up to, get ideas or anything like that?
No.
You don't?
No. I think it's kind of bad too. I think it kind of hurts me, honestly, because I've always said I want to like be friends or like even just have like some sort of like work relationship with more creators. And I'm just such a freaking introvert. Like, it's so annoying. I'm so nervous to like, how do you even start that? Message them? Like, no, it's weird. They're not going to respond. So it would obviously start by following them. So I can definitely do better in that area.
It's so interesting because this woman's fearless. And then it's like she'll do things. So you'd probably tell her, DM 50 people tonight and just say, hey, I do what you do. I like your stuff. Let me know if you want to collaborate or talk about some ideas. And you would send it to all 50 and you wouldn't care if 49 ignored you.
Yeah, but I do get that. Like one of our kids was telling us even last night that it's just still feels like if somebody doesn't respond, like that form of rejection or feels awkward. So she was saying she doesn't care. And she's like, I don't care. I'm just going to send people my information and like, I don't care. But I do get how it might feel like, you know, if you message somebody and they don't respond at all, like it's like, okay, hello, you know, like, why aren't you responding to me? So I think it would be kind of cool for somebody to organize that.
Yes.
You know, to have like, because one of the which I asked you before about in terms of being a creator, like I feel like a lot of people end up at home, you know, by themselves a lot. And I do think even we have a lot of people who work remote, but I don't know if that's really good for the soul, like to always be remote. You know, you have a daughter, so you have someone who's home, and a lot of people might be with their families or husband, but I still feel like people need that socialization. And one of the things that I see about creators is that a lot of them are, you know, just by themselves or just with their husband or significant other, whatever it is, or kid. And I feel like that can still be hard because you don't have anyone to like really collaborate with or, you know, hey, how's this going? Or to hold you accountable or, you know, to help you with, you know, elevating your game, you know, at all. So I think like it's hard in that space, you know, of being a creator. Like I can see that part like being hard.
I agree. I agree with you 100%.
You know.
Because I feel like that sometimes too. When like I want to just bounce ideas. Like obviously I have my manager, but like she's managing other people. I can't just call her and be like, hey, like I have a question. And then my friends, they're not creators, so it's kind of hard for them to understand sometimes. So yeah, that's something I definitely agree with you on.
There's something unique that comes from people doing what you do.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it easy to connect.
Right.
The initial connection.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on and joining us. I hope you had
guys.
fun. I'm sorry about how tough she was.
I am tough.
Thank you guys for having
we
me.
appreciate it.
But
Thank
look at
you.
the camera and tell them how they can find you.
Oh, that's
and,
right.
and
People are going to want to follow what you do. Let them know how to find you.
yes.
You guys can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at XO Kia Matthews.